This video will show you how to replace the battery on a Ford Edge. This will be mounted along the driver's side of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To remove the battery, we're going to start by removing our negative battery terminal. This is along the inboard side closest to our firewall. To remove this terminal end, you're going to loosen your 10mm mounting hardware, just enough that you can remove the terminal end from the battery post. Once you have it loosened, we'll just lift that up and off of there. Now, when you do go ahead and remove this, we need to set it aside so it's making no contact with the battery post. Some batteries will have an insulator. If this is still in good usable order, go ahead and set it aside and you can reuse it. We're moving on to the positive battery terminal next. You may find that this has a plastic protector. Once you've removed the protector from the area, we'll continue on with the same hardware that we had loosened for the negative battery terminal. Now on this terminal, I can see a lot of corrosion, which we will have to remove prior to the installation, but for now, let's just go ahead and set that aside. The battery hold down is towards the driver's side of the battery, next to your fuse panel. We're using an 8mm to start loosening the mounting hardware. Down along the bottom is where you're going to find the hold down. Continuing on, carefully take hold of the battery. We're going to start lifting it up and out. It's going to come out diagonally. Now, before we get ready to install the battery, the next thing we always like to do is make sure we clean and inspect each one of our terminal ends. Looking at this positive terminal end, we can see that there is a lot of corrosion all the way around the terminal end, and we need to make sure that we remove it. With that said, you can use a battery brush, you can also use some battery terminal cleaner, whatever's easiest for you. Now, after you've cleaned out as much of the corrosion as possible, I'm also going to use my battery brush directly in the center here. I want to make sure I have good contact up against my battery. The positive terminal looks good. We'll set that aside. I'm going to repeat the process for the negative terminal. Now it's time to install our battery. When we go to install this, let's make sure we have our battery post facing towards the inboard side of our engine compartment. We'll bring this down at an angle and slide it into position. Once you have it rested in the proper position, press it all the way towards the engine side of the engine compartment, and then we'll continue on with the battery hold down. As for the battery hold down, let's make sure we have it in the proper orientation. Looking along the bottom area, we can see that we do have this grooved portion. That's for the battery to rest inside of. So we're going to slide this down into the proper positioning, and in the center is where we have the mounting hardware. Now, as far as my mounting hardware, I've cleaned the threads and applied anti-seize. Start it in, snug it up. We'll take hold of the battery, attempt to move it. It should not move around in any way. Before we install our terminal ends onto the battery posts, we'll make sure that we clean each one of the battery posts. Whether you're replacing the battery with a brand new battery or a used battery, you need to make sure you clean the mounting area. Now, since our battery did have insulators, I'm just going to reinstall that. We'll take the positive terminal end, we're sliding it down onto the battery post as far as possible. Once you feel as though you have it down, continue on with tightening your 10mm mounting nut. Right there is bottomed out. We'll just take it a tiny bit further. We do not want to cause any damage, but we need to make sure that this is properly secured. It should not move around in any way. Go ahead and protect that positive battery terminal, and then you're making your way to the negative battery terminal next. I have an insulator. Pressing it down. Bottomed out, just a tiny bit further, and it's secure. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. Now the next thing you want to do is go ahead and start your vehicle several times to confirm the battery is properly installed. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.